VMC, digital economy, communication, technology, customer, community, network, social media. VMC, the Vascellari media channel.
I'd like to focus more on startups like we do with Startups Ignite. And I'd like to know, what do you think about social media adoption in startups and big companies, like having community managers, evangelists, and other kind of tools and platforms like Dell, Starbucks, and so on. And another question is, what do you think about the global intelligence leveraging, and what would it change for startups growth and big company growth? Like Walmart did with its failed social networks, and how Dell is managing to grow using Dell Idea Storm.
Was the first part of the question, what's the role of a community manager?
What do you think about social media adoption and social media marketing leveraging for big companies and startups? Does it have a future? How?
Well, I mean, if you guys jump in at any point, but I would just say absolutely. You know, those of us who've been doing anything on the internet for a long time know that social media marketing is is the most effective marketing. I've been doing it for the last 15 years, and that's why you're here. I started doing it in 1993 when I started marketing the internet. When it was just coming out of its non-commercial phase. I marketed open source. I've marketed Web 2.0. It's all been about community engagement. That's what I am, the community manager. That's what I do for a living. That's what a lot of smart CEOs do. Tony Hsieh at Zappos. He's a community manager. Now, not every big company, is going to have their CEO do it. But even there, someone like Jonathan Schwartz at Sun, has taken that very seriously. But other companies, look at the role that Scoble played at Microsoft. He really made Microsoft real for a whole, new generation of people. He was the face of Microsoft. And I think that, companies are going to learn how to do it, or as I said earlier, they're going to be, in trouble. And I do think that there's a challenge for startups because, there's a question: are you a as a CEO, for example, or should you be focused on writing code, or should you be focused on spreading the word? And I think many companies you have to actually end up with both of those roles. It may not be the CEO, but it needs to be somebody senior who can speak with authority for the company, and not just be a mouthpiece. I do think there are a lot of companies that get it wrong. You guys know that. If you're a blogger of any stature, you get all these boneheaded emails from PR firms trying to get your attention, and they obviously don't have a clue. I particularly love the ones when there's somebody I know, the CEO of such and such, and then I get this thing from the PR firm saying, oh, you ought to know that blah 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 blah. And I go, gosh, if so-and-so wants to talk to me, they can just send me an email or pick up the phone or tweet me, whatever. I don't need you in the middle. Now, certainly there are things that a good PR firm can do, and a really good PR firm is in fact a hired social media evangelist. But a lot of them are caught up in the forms. You get something that looks like a press release, and it goes in one mental bucket. You get something that looks like a direct communication, and it goes in a very different bucket. And I think that a lot of companies, PR companies, have never read the Clue Train Manifesto, and they don't realize that it really is a conversation, and that an informal email works better than a pitch.
And we see that a lot in conference submissions. Chances are, if a talk was put in by a PR firm, it's going to suck. If it was put in by the CEO, the CTO, or the lead dev, it's going to be great because they're going to share what they actually know. What I find is great about social media is it gives people a chance to approach the company, and because it's done not by email in some hidden back channel, everybody else gets to see the interaction and sees how the company handles it.
To get back to the community manager question as well. We were saying the other day that in South Park in San Francisco now, in the 90s, everyone walked around saying, do you know a webmaster that I could hire? I need to hire a webmaster. And now everybody walks around and says, I need a community manager. Can you find me a community manager? But the truth is, nobody has a degree in community management. I mean, Janetti's a perfect example of this. Janetti's our community manager, and she moved to Berlin for the month to be here so that she could be around the people that she was going to be, that we were going to be working with, so that she, wasn't working all night, for instance, but also that she could have, personal interactions with everyone. It's not that she went to school and got that degree, it's that she had the personality and the interest and the passion to come do that job. So when someone says, do you know a community manager that I can hire, please, I'll give you a referral bonus, I say, you really can't hire one, you have to grow them. You have to find someone who's inclined that way, empower them, give them the tools, tell them that that job is important in your organization. That's really, I think, the only way to get a good community.
That being said, I think there will be opportunities, in this downturn for many bloggers and people who are good at community outreach. Actually, if you're looking for a safe haven, becoming a community manager for a big company and helping teach them some clue could be a good place to be.
And we're finding that when we run workshops at our expos on community management, they're packed. In New York, we did one, Lois Kelly did this great interactive session where people broke out into discussion groups and all this stuff. And the room was completely full the entire day because that's what companies really need. They need to understand how to do this. So, I mean, I guess in that sense, we are getting to the point where you can sort of train that person. It's not just on-the-job training.
But this scenario where customers come in handy. Tumblr's first employee, outside of David and I forget his co-founder's name, was a community manager, and it was their most passionate user, a guy who'd been emailing them feedback and was subscribed to a ton of Tumblrs, or Tumbles. Tumblogs. And they hired him in Virginia. He was like an insurance agent previously. Totally different from David and his other 20-something co-founder in New York City.